Thank you for joining me here all this evening. The time is now 9 p.m. Central, 10 p.m. Eastern. Today we are going to be doing a little forecast stream here for our severe weather outbreak that we are expecting to unfold over the next few days. If you're not aware, tomorrow we have a marginal risk of severe weather for portions of central Texas and south central Oklahoma. And then on Thursday, we have a slight risk of severe weather for sections of Dixie Alley. So today, we're going to be giving you guys all the information that you need to know about this outbreak. We're going to be going through the models. We're going to be going through CAPE values, SRH values, storm mode, everything like that, and all the threats that you should be concerned about in your area. What's going on, everybody? Thank you for joining me here on this live stream. Today, we've got a couple of folks helping us out here. We've got Levi.
Yeah, what's up?
And then we've also got Sam tonight.
What's up, chat?
So we are going to go ahead and start off this forecasting stream here by asking you guys where everybody is tuning in from, because obviously that lets us know what areas we need to really kind of focus on tonight, what areas we need to talk about. So again, I know it's been a minute since we've done a live stream here, but I hope you guys understand there just has not been a lot of activity recently. So what's up, Random Texan Guy? What's up, Blaine? What's up, Peachy? What's up, Airborne? How's it going, everybody? What's up, Weston? 15 subs away from 100. Nice. Everybody make sure to like up the stream. Stormrunner Media with the $10 donation. W Stormrunner Media in chat. Let's go. W Stormrunner Media in the chat. Let's go. Thank you guys so much for the donation. That helps out a lot. Again, obviously, you guys have helped out just an unbelievable amount. I think that's fair to say. So I really do appreciate that. Very amazing. We got Bill tuning in from South Central Arkansas. And, you know, South Central Arkansas is actually going to be one of the spots that we kind of have to watch for this event somewhat closely. Let me go ahead and put Stormrunner Media there on the donation board. Donating is optional. You obviously don't have to, but it is much appreciated, and it helps me continue to do this here in the future. So, again, massive thank you to Stormrunner Media. So, let's throw that up there on the board. So again, we've got ourselves quite an interesting event to forecast here. I'm not going to say that it's anything too significant, but if we take a look at the HRRR model here, this is tomorrow morning. We've got ourselves some thunder showers firing across portions of east central Texas, and those will likely die out. We're going to see some thunderstorms, though, pop up in portions of eastern Oklahoma and western Arkansas in the evening time hours of tomorrow. Likely still going to stay sub-severe and everything, obviously, but the real show starts to get going around 10 p.m. We start to see a almost linear mode of storms develop across sections of central Texas, and this is where our threat's really going to peak tomorrow night. Don't expect to stream, at 3 p.m. We're really only going to start to go live kind of right as the event's getting going there, very late at night, and again, about 10 p.m. there, we can expect some discrete supercells potentially across sections of central Texas, and although we don't have a lot of CAPE, it's not like it's going to be a crazy setup or anything, I wouldn't rule out a very small, isolated chance of a tornado. The Storm Prediction Center currently has a 2% tornado risk out for portions of south central Texas. It's very small everywhere from Colleen back through portions of southwest Texas. There are areas like Rock Springs, basically everywhere between I-35 and Highway 55, if you're familiar with this area. But again, these storms will eventually kind of accumulate, how would you say that, culminate there into a line of storms, and we'll see that damaging wind threat obviously very well pick up as that happens. Alright, we're going to be talking about damaging winds throughout the nighttime hours there, moving through sections of central and eastern Texas, and then that brings us to Thursday here. Now, Thursday could be quite significant. If we take a look at this here, we see that we're going to have a line of storms, and that could be a big problem for damaging winds of 60 to 70 miles an hour, maybe isolated gusts even getting higher than that across sections of western Louisiana, but we're also going to potentially have some discrete supercells popping out ahead of our line. Now again, this environment is not anything crazy. It's not like we're going to see, the biggest tornado outbreak of the century from this, but it is worth noting that we do have a little bit of CAPE in play, and it's not a lot, and that's what's really going to make this event struggle here in terms of a tornado threat. But if we take a look at storm relative helicity here, the SRH values, they are somewhat high in this region of Louisiana. Same thing with the supercell composite. The significant tornado parameter values are actually pretty interesting here on the 0Z run of the HRRR. If we take a look at this, we can see that we are actually going to have some values that are going all across the state of Louisiana, but again, it really only matters if we can get storms to fire up in those areas. The significant tornado parameter values in general do not really mean too much on their own. So anyway, back to the reflectivity activity view here, again, we can see these storms are going to move through sections of western Louisiana with some significant damaging winds potentially, and maybe a couple of isolated tornadoes, especially down in the southwestern part of Louisiana. There, again, this is Thursday, and as of right now for Thursday, again, we have a slight risk of severe weather in place. That is a 2 out of 5 on the Storm Prediction Center scale, which encompasses a little sliver of southeastern Arkansas, portions of Louisiana, southeastern Texas, and far southwest Mississippi. All in all, this includes over 4 million people. There are almost 5 million people included in that slight risk of severe weather for Thursday. Again, that goes everywhere from Houston, Texas, all the way back up towards Lake Providence, Louisiana. Now, if you're outside of that slight risk there in the dark green shade, you are still in a marginal risk of severe weather, so still be on the lookout there for a few severe storms, but we don't expect anything to be too significant in your area. So that is the HRRR run there. Now, obviously, like I said, we got a couple of folks tuning in here with us this evening, so I don't want to just completely dismiss our good friends here. So I want you guys to kind of go through what you would think would happen with this event based off of the HRRR model there. Tell us what you think is going to be the biggest problems. Tell us where you think the bullseye area is going to be, just stuff like that. So we'll start with Levi.
Actually, can we pass the ball off to Sam real quick? Let me pull it up.
Okay.
It just crashed.
Oh, all right. I gotcha. All right, Sam, what are you thinking?
Honestly, I don't think tomorrow's gonna be really big, but Thursday looks really interesting. Especially central Louisiana. But there is a lack of instability, so there will be an issue for the tornado threat. But there is a lot of wind shear out here, so this will mainly be a damaging wind event. But a couple of QLCS tornadoes cannot be ruled out.
Yeah, and that's certainly what I would say. Again, we might have to watch for some discrete cells popping up out ahead of our line of storms in portions of southwestern Louisiana, but I wouldn't really guarantee anything in that regard there, as if these were going to be tornado-producing storms, So, again, the time frame for Thursday is really going to be kind of all day, but we're mainly going to be watching the mid to late afternoon time hours into the early evening time hours, especially across sections of western Louisiana. Again, we'll not rule out some isolated significant damaging winds there, areas in southwestern and west central Louisiana, especially areas like Lake Charles, back up through Natchitoches, maybe even Alexandria gets in on some significant damaging winds, potentially up to 70 miles an hour there. What's my take on north central Alabama? So that would be a Friday thing, obviously. If Alabama were to see anything, it would not be Thursday, but based on what we have seen from models like the RGEM, the European, it does look like we could have ourselves some strong thunderstorms in portions of north central Alabama. I would not bet on really any tornadic storms, but remember, we are still a ways out from that occurring there. That is Friday, obviously, so we're still a little ways out, but if we do go ahead and take a look at the RGEM model here, and I do have to screencast this because unfortunately this will not work if we do it just through Radar Omega, but if we bring this up here on your screen, we can see that we are expecting some of those thunderstorms to certainly make their way into portions of, especially like western Alabama, but north central Alabama, there definitely could get in on some damaging winds, but that's kind of right around the areas as well where we start to see these take a downward trend. So again, Friday, if I had to guess what the risk would look like, I would guess it would probably be a marginal risk for sections of Alabama, Mississippi, and maybe a little bit of southwestern Tennessee there as well. And then I wouldn't bet on a slight risk, but if we were to have one in place, it would probably be for sections of Mississippi and maybe western Alabama most likely. So that's kind of my take there on Alabama in general. Let me go and get back over to Stream Chat here. Again, thank you guys all for tuning in. Sorry if I'm not keeping up with every message. We got a lot of people chatting right now. Hunter Hurley, what's up? How's it going? It's been a minute. I hope you're doing amazing. Everybody get a W Hunter in chat. We got Hunter Hurley here, Levi.
Oh, let's go. Hunter's here. What's up, Hunter?
Crazy work. So Levi, would you like to go ahead and give your take on what you're expecting here for this event, if you don't mind?
Yeah, definitely. So, I honestly think both of you are spot on. Maybe a couple of prefrontals in the front of the main line, but main concern, probably wind with this. Could possibly see a little bit of a hail threat. Davis pointed out cold core stuff maybe up north sometime with these storms in the future, I think. But basically, I think maybe a little bit of spin-up action couldn't be ruled out, but tornado threat overall low, mainly a wind threat, but nothing too significant.
Yeah, and I actually did not mention that yet, but I'm glad you brought that up because we are going to have a little bit of a cold core setup here for sections of Kansas and Missouri, and that could potentially lead to some isolated damaging winds. But if you'll notice here, if we switch things over to the NAM model and we take a look at precipitation type, I don't know if it's going to load out far enough here. Radar Omega doesn't quite have the full run yet, but it does have this switching over to snow here. Or was that the HRRR? I genuinely can't remember. I believe it was the NAM model, but it does have quite a big, heavy band of snow there mixing in portions of southeastern Nebraska, and it did have a run where it was showing up to 9 inches of snow accumulating in southeastern Nebraska because of that. Now, that's not going to happen, but that we definitely could see something similar to that play out if maybe some snow does mix in there on the backside on the northern portion of this storm here. Again, maybe an isolated heavy band of snow somewhere in like the quad state region of Kansas, Missouri, Nebraska, and Iowa. Again, the further north you go, the better chance you have, but that's kind of my thoughts on that there. So we went ahead and went over the HRRR's outlook for this event, but now it is time to discuss the NAM model, obviously the second most reliable kind of short-term forecasting model here, and it is worth noting for some reason Radar Omega is not loading the full run of the NAM, but we see what we really need to see here, right? So if we take a look at it here, again, it shows some of those weaker thunder showers maybe developing across the quad state region of Louisiana, Texas, Oklahoma, and Arkansas in the morning time hours, and potentially back into the early afternoon time hours as well, but the main event really doesn't get going until the evening, obviously, and it actually has this kind of popping off as well around 10 p.m. Shows maybe a couple of discrete cells somewhere across sections of Texas and Oklahoma. Again, not really going to be a big tornadic threat. We're not really going to have enough instability that far north, but again, we do expect the line of storms to get going there, and by the morning time hours of Thursday here, we're going to be talking about this sweeping through the eastern outer suburbs of the DFW Metroplex with some damaging winds, heavy rain. By 7 a.m., this could be a big-time QLCS here, all the way from sections of southeastern Oklahoma back through Austin. Holy crap. William Span with the $50 donation. W. William in the chat. Oh my gosh. That is incredible. Thank you so much for your support. That is greatly appreciated. You are awesome, my friend. Thank you very much for tuning into the streams. Obviously, that helps so much as well. That $50 donation goes a long way for me. So again, thank you very, very much. Let's get W. Williams in the chat.
That is the best donation.
That is crazy. Thank you so much. So we got William with the $50. Again, that is crazy. Thank you so much. I was not expecting that. So again, that helps out a ton. I really do appreciate it. Again, obviously, this would be awesome to do this kind of as a full-time career. So that really does help me out in letting me know that this is a possibility. So I really do greatly appreciate that. But anyway, getting back into the forecasting here, again, we could see a big-time damaging wind threat develop across sections of eastern Texas and western Louisiana. The NAM has this being a very clean event here. It does kind of have a little bit of a weakening in this line here in the morning time hours of Thursday. The HRRR has it as well, just not quite as significant. And the NAM does have these kind of sparking back up as they make their way into sections of Louisiana. And if we go ahead and bring up the NAM on Tropical Tidbits here, you're investing in the future. Thank you very much. Alright, so if we bring this up here on Tropical Tidbits, if we switch things over to the NAM model, because for some reason it's not loading on Radar Omega, even though it is all the way fully loaded in, which is weird. But look at this. This is the South Central United States again. It has those thunderstorms re-sparking as they make their way into Louisiana. And look at that, guys. That is an intense band of thunderstorms there. Some big-time wind. Again, maybe a couple of isolated QLCS tornadoes. Again, the line kind of extending back through parts of central Arkansas that are kind of up towards Little Rock. And then we could see some of those make their way into parts of northern Alabama. I know we had William mentioning northern Alabama there. But the NAM does kind of have them weakening out significantly by that point. Now, we did talk about snow being a potential here on the backside of this system. And that is definitely, again, going to be a thing, all right? We could be talking about some snow mixing into our heavy rain, and if it does, it could be quite heavy at times, all right? This is, I believe, yeah, this is Thursday night here at about 8 p.m. We start to see some big snow mix in there in southeastern Nebraska, and that band just gets bigger and bigger, and it is quite heavy there, all right? We can't look all the way out, but it would show snow in Iowa and northern Illinois if we were able to, but if we take a look at the total snowfall amounts from this band, if it were to exactly play out like this, again, this is probably not going to be quite this significant, The NAM likes to overdo events like this a lot where we have severe weather and snow on the backside of our system sometimes, but it is showing a very small swath across southeastern Nebraska of up to 9 inches of snow. But again, remember, take that all with a grain of salt. Obviously, the NAM is probably overdoing that quite a bit considering none of our other models show any snow at all. It's going to be all or nothing on this event, guys. It's not going to be, oh, you know, maybe we get a couple inches. No, it is going to be, you're going to get a lot of snow or you're going to get nothing. So anyways, yeah, QLCS event, look for some spin-up tornadoes embedded in that line of storms again. Could even see some prefrontals fire up in front of the line there and potentially produce a couple of tornadoes.
I definitely agree with that.
Davis, I do want to mention something. There is a slim part of instability that makes it into Kentucky and Tennessee. The left sides are pretty good out here, so maybe I cannot rule out a thunderstorm or two out here. Maybe even a marginal, but we'll see. That's on the GFS model, by the way.
Okay. The GFS is showing that?
Mm-hmm.
Let's check that out.
But we'll see. We'll see what this
Yeah, the GFS does have some thunderstorms making their way into portions of, especially Tennessee. There it has our line going into parts of Tennessee. I don't know if I would bet on that too much, because obviously we need some model agreements to really see something like this play out, and right now it's kind of just the GFS showing this, but it is certainly a possibility here. What are dew points looking like? I'm just curious. What do dew points get to in central Tennessee? They actually do get quite high. They do get into the low 60s in portions of central Tennessee at times. So that is pretty significant, obviously. So we'll kind of look out for that there.
I will be covering that if it does come up to my neck of the woods.
Yeah, because that is,
It's not.
that's Levi's area out there. But yeah, it's certainly possible. And you can kind of see here, I didn't even mean to start doing this, but if we look at the GFS run of future dew points, you can kind of see them spiking over and over again in Dixie Alley, and it is quite possible that we do see several severe weather events over the next few weeks here in portions of the Deep South, actually. This pattern is somewhat favorable here for kind of these little smaller severe weather outbreaks across sections of Dixie. If we bring up the composite reflectivity there on the GFS, we'll pull that up. Come on, any day now. If you'd like to load, that would just be incredible. Okay, so yeah, again, look at this. We got that severe weather event that we are expecting, obviously, over the next few days, but look at this. We could potentially have a few thunderstorms make their way into portions of the lower and even the mid-Mississippi Valley there, potentially sometime kind of this weekend into early next week. And then we could end up seeing that again there over the next few weeks several times. Obviously, the GFS, once you start getting over 200, 250 hours out, you can't really trust too much of what it says. Take it all with a grain of salt. But it is worth noting that there is the potential for this to definitely play out, and we're just kind of in that general pattern. That's what you should take away from that there. And get back to chat. So again, massive thank you to William for the $50 dono. Very, very generous. Greatly appreciated. Certainly. But yeah. Dixie ramping up for spring severe, certainly. Yeah, if you guys didn't check out our 2025 severe weather forecast, make sure to do look at that, because it kind of highlights the areas where we are expecting to see some significant severe weather this year, or have the potential to anyways, and that video is doing great, so I can't thank you guys enough for that, because I did put actually quite a bit of time into it, so I'm glad that it's kind of finding its little spot in the algorithm there, and again, that's all thanks to you guys watching it, giving it a like and sub. Very appreciated. And again, if you're not aware, I do have a second channel now called Davis's Games, where we do extra gaming content. Since it doesn't really fit the branding of this channel anymore, we decided to create a second channel just for the purpose of doing some gaming videos. And over the next few months, we've got a few series planned out. I'm not going to reveal too much, but if you've been watching since the old Davis's Games era, stuff like that, but on a bigger scale with more exciting stuff happening. We do have a video out right now. It's just the start of a hardcore world that I want to do. Since it's been a while since we've tried one of those. But yeah. Yeah, I am going to stream tomorrow. Memphis, Arkansas. Let's check it out. So, are you just talking about, like, West Memphis? Oh, you're good, Levi. So, if you're talking about, like, the Arkansas side of Memphis, then we definitely could end up seeing the line of storms potentially just really barely making its way up towards you, but if that were to happen, we could expect maybe some isolated damaging winds of 50 to 60 miles an hour. The Storm Prediction Center doesn't have you highlighted in a marginal risk, but that doesn't mean it's impossible for you to see severe weather, obviously. If we take a look at the NAM model here on Radar Omega, available on iOS and Android, not a sponsor, but an amazing app, DL Games Guides. I forgot you had that channel. That was funny. I approve of the gaming channel. Amazing. No, but in all seriousness, we do see the NAM potentially liking the idea of the line just barely making its way up towards the I-40 corridor there, up towards Memphis, so we could see some isolated gusty winds for sure. And if we were to see that, it would mainly kind of be around Thursday evening. It's not really going to be a Wednesday problem for you. Thursday night, maybe. DL's game guides is DL Scales from Stormhunter Media. The dark green is the marginal risk of severe weather. What's up, Clint? Yeah, Radar Omega. If Radar Omega did not exist, this channel would probably be a lot worse. So you can thank them. So again, thank you guys for all the support this stream. Again, also obviously massive thanks to William and Stormhunter Media for the donations. Again, donations are not required in any way, shape, or form, but they are greatly appreciated, and it helps me know that this is a potential career option for me in the future. You know, obviously, the support last month was insane. Or I guess this month still technically, but it was unbelievable.
Davis, I also wanted to mention that we do have a flooding threat with this also.
Oh, what threat? Oh, a flooding threat, yeah. So, that is true. If we take a look at the excessive rainfall outlook, especially on day 3 here, we actually see that we do have a slight risk of flash flooding everywhere from sections of northeastern Texas back through southwestern Indiana. And you may be thinking, well, that does not match up at all with our severe weather outlook. Well, just because we're not seeing severe weather in the Ohio Valley does not mean that we're not going to see any rain or thunderstorms. We are going to see a big batch of heavy rain make its way through sections of southern Illinois, southern Missouri, and southern Indiana here, and that could potentially rack up that flooding risk. But again, the main flooding risk will still come with our line of storms and any storms that pop out ahead of that. If they do accumulate enough rainfall, we definitely could see some flooding, especially across sections of like northern Dixie Alley here, parts of Mississippi, Louisiana, Arkansas, areas like that, maybe even going into sections of Alabama and Georgia whenever we start to see that day 4 outlook come out there. But yeah, flooding threat is certainly in play again, especially Thursday. Flooding, honestly, could be a more significant thing than severe weather. We're really not... The forecasting confidence for this event is not incredibly high, I'm going to be honest with you guys. Whenever the day 4 and 5 slight risks got issued by the Storm Prediction Center, everybody was freaking out. But realistically, whenever they did that, I was quite surprised, because usually if you're going to have a day 4 or 5 slight risk, you're going to expect that to go enhanced or moderate, because at that point, usually they have so much confidence that it's going to be a severe weather outbreak that they just go ahead and tell you that there's going to be a risk that early on. That is certainly not the case this time. The day 4 outlook that was originally a slight risk, that is all the way down to a marginal risk, and we'll probably not get upgraded back up. Again, a marginal risk, that's the one that we have tomorrow for parts of central Texas and south central Oklahoma. And then the one that was a slight risk on day 5 originally, it's still a slight risk, but I really would not expect this to go enhanced in any way, shape, or form. I really wouldn't. I'm going to be honest with you guys right now. Make sure to subscribe if you've not already. We are 2 subs away from 3,250. We did it several times this month, but we're kind of going up and down. But yeah. That would help out a lot. Okay, make sure to do that if you've not already. We provide forecasting, coverage, and documentaries on historical tornadoes pretty much daily on this channel, so if you're interested in that stuff at all, make sure to subscribe. Again, massive thank you to Levi and Sam for helping me out with this live stream here. And again, whenever these big-time severe weather events do start to play out over the next few weeks, we are going to have storm chasers live on the ground as these are happening. So again, we are going to make sure to keep these folks down here in our thoughts and prayers. Again, we're going to be talking about the potential for somewhat significant severe weather. Again, we're not expecting like a full-blown tornado outbreak or anything, but damaging winds certainly are definitely just at times just as devastating as weaker tornadoes. And I think it's going to kind of be one of those events where, we see trees down, power lines get knocked over, maybe some siding gets blown off, but I really don't think it's going to be a massive event or anything like that.
Sorry, I got a dip early. I've been busy in the background here, so sorry I couldn't pop in and say stuff a bit more often.
No, you're good.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you for joining us, Levi.
Yeah, I'll see you tomorrow.
All right, peace out.
Yeah, see ya.
But yeah, again, we're going to have storm chasers on the ground as these events kind of play out over the next few weeks down here in Dixie Alley. This is just a very classic wintertime pattern to see. A lot of people think that tornadoes happen in the spring and that's it. That is just unbelievably, massively unbelievably, what am I saying? A massively unbelievable misconception. I know less than diddly squat about how to gain the algorithms, but it will happen again like it did that one day / night you blew it out of the water past 3,000 subs. I appreciate it. I certainly hope so. I'm definitely not an algorithm master, but since I've been doing this for 4 years, it is something that I have gained in my knowledge. I don't think I've ever told this story before on YouTube, so this is probably going to shock some people because I've never said anything about this, and it's not up anymore, but I did have a channel before this one. And that is a much longer story that we'll talk about some other day. That is a big story. Yeah, if you want to pop in, that's fine, Mr. Twister. Probably only going to be live here for a few more minutes, though, so. Wait, hold up. I want to see if I can do this, because I kind of liked this whenever we did it the other day. How do I like... Oh, there he is.
What's up?
There's Mr. Twister, everybody. How do I do this?
I want to mention, 200,000 people are still without power after that storm hit Ireland, so...
Yeah.
I wanted to point that out.
That was quite... I haven't really talked about that on my channel, but we did have a massive storm. I don't remember its name, but we did have a massive storm hit portions of Europe, Please, nobody make a low taper fade joke. Let me see if I can do this. I'm gonna try and flip my camera around. I want to look cool.
Into OBS, click on that with the right click, and then you come.
Tutorial, man. Hold up. I think I can do this. Defaults? No. I'm too scared to mess with this, I'm gonna be honest with you.
Wow. What are you trying to do?
I'm trying to flip my camera horizontally.
I think there might be like a circle you can drag around. That storm broke records last week with wind gusts reaching 114 Davis, on the top, Ireland, and 100 miles. There's a circle above your thing. Try rotating that.
Well, that's just gonna like flip me upside down.
Oh.
Now I'm upside down. Hello, everybody.
That's great.
Wait, properties. What were you saying about the storm they had in Ireland, Sam? You said 113 miles an hour?
114 miles an hour.
114 miles an hour.
And that was in Ireland, and there was a 100 mile an hour wind gust in Scotland. Pretty significant stuff.
Yeah, that is a very rare thing to see in Europe.
That wasn't even storm based, that was just the winds, correct?
How do you invert polarity? What am I clicking? Why do I mess with stuff when I don't know what I'm doing? I don't even know why I care. I just thought this would look cool. What does this stuff do? Let's see. I bet people in chat are screaming at me, telling me how to do this.
And unfortunately, 2 people were killed by falling trees during the record-breaking wind gusts from that storm.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, even in the United States, you rarely see something that significant. The highest wind gust related to just a thunderstorm, not a hurricane or a tornado in the United States, was back during the Cedar Rapids derecho, 140 mile an hour gusts. So, again, that was one of the most significant storms in United States history. It was the costliest in U.S. history. Did billions in damages. So, again, stuff like that, especially whenever it hits other countries that aren't quite as prepared for that as the United States are, it's a big deal. So, transform.
What's up, Laura Stone? Welcome to the stream.
I did it. There we go. Look at how cool that is. Not really that cool, but people that haven't been here before probably think nothing of this, but this feels like a cursed image to see. What's up, Laura?
Yeah, QLCS, Ben.
That's weird. How do we feel about this? Do we like backwards or regular better? Alrighty, so I think with that, we're going to end off this stream here. Again, massive thank you to everybody that donated today. And everybody that just tuned in general, like the stream. Again, I know I did not announce this or anything. I wasn't really planning on it. But I hope you guys did enjoy a lot. Hope you guys are staying safe out there. Again, it has just been incredibly active the past few weeks, and it's going to continue to be, it looks like, for the next few. So again, just stay safe out there. Again, we'll be live pretty much every event. So if you want to get coverage from radar and storm chasers on the ground at all times during events like this, make sure to click that subscribe button. Again, massive thank you to Sam, Levi, and Mr. Twister for helping me out with this one. But yeah, until next time, I will see